Welcome back, guys. Harry here, known as Trade Sharp, and today we have an interesting video. Bitcoin is dumping as we speak. Gonna give you a quick update here, and look at these alts absolutely smashed. And yeah, we're just gonna. It's not gonna be a long video. It is the weekend, and I want to see what happens coming in later on today when CME's open, and of course on Monday. So we start off with the CME chart because you see CME closing bearish. So this downside movement, I do think, is caused by the bear CME closure over the weekend. A lot of people not expecting the bounce because they expect this to trade lower based on the bearish closure, and of course the weekly is bearish. So normally what we see is also coming into Monday, we might see some more selling pressure, based on how CME's open, and if CMEs want to continue this bearish momentum towards the downside. And this is kind of like Bitcoin in the lower time frames doing the same. We also saw a clear signal, right, which I'll go over in a minute. Apart from that, what do we have here on the Bitcoin chart? We can see that we are breaking down now below this wick here. Absolutely terrible. First target here is a wick fill at 33,000. I think a small bounce will be there. There's actually a clear signal here on the 4-hour time frame, which was we closed below the range. Looking left, we have this wick to fill here. It's getting a small bounce on the 1-hour time frame, I believe, should be from this base here, but in this area there is some liquidity. We're getting a small bounce. 1 hour was also even a very clean signal here. What would have that been like? Yeah, nice signal here for short position. Breaking down, very clear to see this closure below the range, and now continuing down to the bottom side of that range. I do think we probably come down here and tap 33.4, and probably a small bounce there, and probably make another lower high and continue down even lower. Yeah, I want to see how CME is open. That's what I'm waiting for, guys, on the weekend. But this is probably, I do think we're going to see some lower numbers. Probably might even at this point tag this wick down here, maybe after another lower high. Looking at 4-hour Stokes, that is also towards the downside here. We can see 1-hour Stokes crossing up, so we might see a tiny bounce here. To be honest, it's coming in from a very low position here. If I go and expand that, we can see we have a nice trend line. So yeah, maybe a small bounce from where we are. There's a regression here if this confirms, but the hour has to close in 54 minutes, so there's a long time before that confirms. Daily, it's not going to take much to get some sort of bullish divergence to push the price up, but I don't like RSI. Stokes turned down, looking bad. And the weekly is what's very important for me here, because I want to see that weekly closure today coming in 14 hours above this 32,000 pivot. If we don't get the closure above this 32,000 pivot, this is very, very, very bad for Bitcoin. And yeah, it's not looking good, because if we go on a daily, we're obviously in a downtrend, lower highs all across. So closing a daily below 30,000 is not the biggest of issues. Why is it not the biggest of? Well, it is a big issue, of course, because then we'll probably see price come down to 23,000. But it is a big issue because not the biggest issue, because we're already in a a daily downtrend. But the problem is, if price does get here, I want to see it as a wick. I want to see it get bought back up. And there's a very nice liquidation zone here that I'm looking for price to basically get bought back up, which is in this area here. I just want to see what this 50 moving average is doing on the lower time frames. Yeah, you can see this 50 moving average is acting as perfect resistance, and this is why you can see this resistance. I mean, you could have been very profitable just selling the 50 moving, right? It's really, really, really good. I mean, check this out. Nice 12%, comes back. You wouldn't take this signal. Next signal is up here, another 14%. Next signal is here, another 13%. And that's something actually we're noticing here. Check this out, right? 13%. This signal, 13%. Next signal was, 13%. So if you're looking at it historically, 13%, where's that? The bottom of this wick. Pure technical analysis. What we have, closure below the range here. You can see that very clearly. Closure below the range, wick to fill, Wick fill is down to this point here, 33,000. That's where I expect the bounce. And then if we do break that wick, probably a bit lower. But I do really want to see CMEs open. Ethereum, should I even have a look at Ethereum? Yeah, we'll have a quick look at Ethereum, give you some targets. Messy chart I have here, horrible chart. So yeah, where we are, you know, there should be a bounce in this area. This is where I'm looking for a bounce, to be honest, in this area right here, like so. And that's where I expect price to bounce. So where we are, there should be a bounce. If not, because if you look, yeah, you know, just something like this, this should be a good area. You can see how many times price is rejected. If not, where are we coming to? Well, you know, around next area is going to be around somewhere here, to be honest. Somewhere like that. That's the next area. Yep, lines up with that wick as well. So yep, those are my areas for Ethereum. That being said, we see what's going on with Bitcoin. I do expect that continuation and then a small bounce and then possibly another lower high, but it's not looking good. I just need that weekly level to hold, guys, right? And we just need this 32,000, so 14 hours. Clench your butt tight and hope that we can hold it. With that being said, take care, trade sharp, and until next time, peace.